Hello, Talking About Rock fans. Welcome to another episode of Talking About Rock. I'm your host, Rob Edwards. We also have with us my co-host, Jerry Smith from Nashville. Jerry, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How about you, Robert?
Great. Today we have an extraordinary guest with us. From the band The Land of Oz, we have with us Stephen J. Desko. Stephen, how's it going today?
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Awesome. So we've been looking at your videos and watching everything. Tell us a little bit about Land of Oz and how things started going with you. I guess you started actually singing in school, right?
Yeah, I was in a choir when you ever watch the Blues Brothers where the nuns beat the crap out of those two fellas?
Right.
I was in that. And let's see, I got fired from piano playing because I couldn't learn a song in second grade. So I could have been John Lord. But anyway, I was in the choir and I started singing back then as far as, how to, but I was an alto and I got no glory. The sopranos got all the good stuff. Alto was kind of like harmonies and lameness. But, technically you learn how to get under some notes and it gets beaten into you if you don't do it right,
Right.
So and from there, I kind of, once my voice settled in at 18 or so, I started singing because before then it's like Peter Bradyville,
Did you take like vocal training and stuff like that, or you just pretty much self-taught?
Besides the beatings in Catholic school,
Wow.
no, I'm not kidding that much. If people from St. Charles, Borromeo, and Drexel Hill, they know. That's my people. But I'm dear. I saw a girl at a show the other night from first grade. So it's always fun to see we've been through the prison term together, taking the beatings from Sister Sarge and all that. But after that, it was you just kind of play around and you develop. I started out with originals for a while till about the age of 32, and then at 32, you kind of there's a little crossroads. It's like I can't leave my wife and kids on the weekends and make $80 for all the fellas. So I got into covers at that point, and then from there it morphed into a Black Sabbath set and then a Black Sabbath show. And then I left Philly and went to Chicago for about 5.5 years, and I got into a cover band with my friends at my friend's bar, and we rehearsed once a week at the bar on stage in the middle of the week, and then played every Friday, mixed covers. So I feel I got really, really comfortable as a performer in Chicago for 5.5 years, just doing 40 shows a year plus a rehearsal. So it was almost like 80 shows a year for a couple of years of being on stage. So it gets you very comfortable. And then out there, I started a Dio and Ozzy tribute called Masters of Reality, where I did Ronnie James Dio and Ozzy. And then out here, it was the Ozman Comet. And then I got hired out of that to start the Land of Oz with a 15-year-old Matt Stanley. So that's where we're at. And then now we're 7 years into this. He's 22 now. He'll be 23.
Wow.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Nice.
Jerry and I have a conversation a lot about, because they have still acts. He's in Nashville. They have a lot of acts that are doing original material. But original material, it depends where you are in the country and what's going on. But it definitely, original material seems to be really hard to break through with nowadays. And we've seen that the explosion of tribute bands all over the place. And we've come to the conclusion we think it's because of the ticket pricing that's going on. I think people are just, more apt to say, I'll go see a tribute band, even though those guys are still out there, swinging the originals and trying to get it going. We talked to Naked Gypsy Queens. They're they got their own stuff going on, and then they're pretty good and they're starting. But yeah, breaking through with the originals seems to be even harder than it used to be.
There's not as much of a location with the internet. You can break, like the band Live came out of York, PA. It's a small, couple horse town out in Pennsylvania in the middle. So and you had to go to New York to play, but you can break from anywhere. Look at I think those guys from Dirty Honey were just cutting tracks in their basement.
Oh yeah,
Souls did it, but it seems to be like a whole lot of we'll say, for socio comparison, a multitude of homeless people and a few millionaires. It's like, as far as the skew, it's like you can make either nothing or everything at this business. It's very feast and famine within it. And you do get treated great in the tributes. It's ridiculous. You get catering, you get hotels. I don't drink, so that I'm turned on by catering. You know,
No,
Mr.
no
Party
demon
guy.
alcohol
Yeah.
for you, huh?
I quit drinking 5 years ago.
Good.
I was at a bar three blocks from where I was living, and I walked home and I fell on my face and I gave myself a road rash. It looked a little like Hitler. That's not ever a good look. And I broke a tooth off, and I had 3 sets the next day. And I
Oh
can
my God.
sing without a front tooth, but I don't want to know this. So at that point, I disqualified myself from drinking, which has made set 3s real easy, you know, or set 2, you know, late in the set. I had just as much power as when I start, as alcohol.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Although liquid, it's kind of not in, you know, your biology. It starts to dry up a little.
Right.
To sound like
You actually-
Springsteen.
Yeah. So you actually got recruited. So it's a little reverse. You got recruited by the guitar player. I was reading up for a little bit.
Yes.
Was it Matt Stanley? And he started with the band when he was 15.
Yeah, his dad was in his band called Funhouse back in the day in Pennsylvania. Local. They were decent original band. I used to actually play with them on the circuit. I mean, I got the crappier nights. They were cool, or a little older than me at the time. I mean, 2-3 years older, but I knew them from the circuit. It was too cool to talk to me, but I knew them. And I got a phone call from a mutual friend, a bass player, and the guy who founded Get the Let Out, Paul Picari, and he named it too, the bass player. And he said that this guy's 15-year-old learned Diary of a Madman, including the solos, in one day. Do you want to check them out? And I was like, yeah, whatever. All right. You know, I came out because of who called me.
Right.
Because normally I'm 15 years old. I don't care. And he had like a little Justin Bieber haircut and he's tall, skinny kid. He was phenomenal, you know. And it's some venues, like we send approved material over and they find the worst videos from our like first show in Bethlehem, PA at the casino where the steel factory used to be.
Right.
And they find these pictures of us, like me. I'm like 213 pounds. This kid's skinny. Like I'm in decent shape now, and the kid's old and looks great and has long hair. But they just find the worst videos. If you don't spoon feed them material, they just find the worst stuff. Like, dude. But anyway, but yeah, he was a young cat, but he had all the talent in the world. He's a little shy, but you figure you can't teach talent, but your stage show will develop. So just go with the talent. Talent is prominent here because you can always work on your stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't fake the playing, you know?
Right. So him and his dad both play in your band, I guess,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So-
Dad's a beast. He was a very well-regarded local guitar, but he's a scientist now. So I think he does this for fun, you know?
And I was reading he graduated Berklee College of Music.
Yes.
His dad, I think, right?
It's
So
jazz
that's
guitar.
Oh, that's
For real.
good.
He gets about 3 solos a show. We give him a few bones. He's good, but they do some harmonics, dual solos in Crowley. It's very cool. It's like, you know, Ozzy Maiden, but yeah.
That's
A couple
awesome.
spots. But you can get with the keyboards that we have and the 2 guitars, we can duplicate the albums and make it sound like you're listening to the records. And it's
That's
still a
amazing.
live vibe, but we try to behold ourselves to the original, to the studio work.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the albums and Ozzy in a little bit, but rounding out the band, you have your drummer Tommy and your keyboardist Mike, and I guess they're both in other solo projects also. I was reading too, right?
Right now, they're in a band called Beyond Abbey Road, which I love as a concept. It's all the post Beatles solo work in a
Right.
show.
I got you. Yeah.
I know. I always bug them to do more Ringo Starr. And I saw their set list. And I said, send me your set list. And it's pretty cool. And I was like, you gonna cut out the pedophile song that Ringo Starr has? But no, I'm kidding. 16 Beautiful in Mind is just like, dude, you're 80. But other than that, it's a great set. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But some songs don't stand the test of time.
Right.
Like
Right.
Chip
Oh,
Winger
yeah.
singing about 17-year-olds now. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of the different bands, and a lot of them are involved in others. You know, a couple different solo projects, or not solo. I mean, tribute projects, whatever's going on at the time. You know what I mean? I think I read also Matt was involved with Van Halen Nation. He jams in there too and stuff.
He is the Eddie Van Halen. He's phenomenal. He's a beast. I'm good friends with those guys. Our bass player used to play for them. I also have Ultimate Live Evil, which is a Ronnie James Dio tribute with Dio Rainbow and Dio Sabbath.
Oh, how fun.
It's phenomenal. And then we have Just Sabbath, which is all the old volume 4s and Masters of Reality and just old, just nasty. So I have a show today, which is why we're doing this now. In Atlantic City, we're doing a free show today, 7 to 10 down at the Beret, about New York Avenue. We have Monopoly, New York.
Yeah, I was reading that. Yeah, that sounded
like
really
orange
cool.
or yellow. I forget what color.
Yeah, so you are like the ultimate. You're like the ultimate Sabbath package, man. You can do the Ozzy, you're doing the Sabbath, you're even doing the Ronnie James Dio. That is amazing. That is.
I love it. It's I started out. Had a band called Heaven and Hell, which is funny because Dio got back together with Sabbath and called it Heaven and Hell.
Yeah,
I used that. It's kind of funny, not funny. One of my, let's say some of the musicians in the band were actually smoking crack. Usually it's a joke. What are you smoking crack?
Right. I always say that.
I went over to his house and I sat down and there's a party, there's a little weed, regular stuff, beer. So I sit down next to this guy on the couch. Hey, how you doing? And he goes, want a hit? It's crack. I'm like, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
And I kind of had to fire the guy because I just,
Yeah.
it's not good for, I couldn't figure out why the guy hadn't learned a new song in like 2 months, but then I figured out why the guy hasn't learned a song in 2 months.
No, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right, yeah.
That's fun, man.
Yeah, that's
I
just
guess.
going.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just going nowhere fast.
Yeah,
You know,
I
doing
can't.
that
I
type
can't
of
handle.
thing.
Like, if you're smoke a joint and drink a couple beers and do a show, that's fine. If you're hopped up on
Function, yeah.
heroin, I can't schedule with you. I
Right.
can't be knocking at your door trying to drag you out of bed to do a show. I'm not a babysitter,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a life coach. I can't
Yeah.
get in line,
Yeah, and all the stars finally realized that. I mean, Ozzy realized that, right? When he had to kind of start cleaning up his act and realize, if you want to be around for another, 10, 20 years, you better take a chill. How many times you're gonna get close.
tough.
You're gonna get close to the Grim Reaper and make it through, right? I mean,
Right.
he's had highly publicized issues with alcohol for years and years and years. And I think if it wasn't for Sharon, I think she's the major influence for him, even
She's
just
a beast.
starting him out. You know what I mean?
She's awesome. I guess she's the daughter of Sabbath's manager.
Yep. Don Arden's daughter. Yeah, that's how they
Arden, yeah.
met. Yeah, because he was
Yeah.
managing Sabbath. And I think Don told her, hey, go check out Ozzy. He's in a hotel room, right after they dropped him from Sabbath. And he just felt useless,
Sure.
And she kind of reinvigorated everything. And I think we're all so happy because those first 2 albums are still amazing today. And everybody still talks about them today.
Oh, no doubt about it. 2 of the best all time, without a doubt.
Definitely. A little bonus for the Buffalo people. It's the 40th anniversary of Diary of a Madman. We will be doing that entire album at our show.
So
Oh my
it is,
God.
you're right.
So we're going to
1981.
start off. I think I'm going to do 4 off a side one to start the show, and then have the other 4 floating somewhere early in the second set. So I'm not going to drop a needle and do the whole record. Because sometimes you get in a B-side bill and you start to lose the people who are
Who don't
radio
know, the
Ozzy
hardcore
people.
fans. Yeah.
The Ozzy for Dummies people will be like, no. But
That's awesome. Yeah.
if you could bookend, you sneak your B-sides in as bookend between 2 popular stuff. You can kind of.
Oh, even the B-side's amazing on that album.
I love it. We do Can't Kill Rock and Roll, Little Dolls. I mean, the B-sides for the bands, it's kind of funny. You can really move like 6 or 7 people, and they're standing there all excited, and the rest of the people are like looking at you a little bit. But at a certain point, it's the first time you heard that song or someone heard that song. So you got to sell that shit. And then you're like, okay, you could turn people on with it, and then they'll get their comfortable song next anyway to keep.
Yeah. You got to mix in the popular stuff with
You have to.
the obscure stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they're amazing albums. We talk about them a lot. They were a big influence for me when they came out. The thing that's gone on in the last couple of years I wanted to touch on a little bit was the re-recordings, right? So as we know, Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake were amazing. And Bob pretty much wrote the lyrics to pretty much all the songs.
I love Bob Daisley. He toured with Rainbow too, and there's a soundstage video on his channel of I think Gates of Babylon, which will blow your mind. Check it out. It's on the Bob Daisley channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a soundstage pre-show live rehearsal for Gates of Babylon. It is
great
shit, dude. You ever see the video?
I haven't seen it
Haven't
yet, but I'll
seen the video.
Check it out.
I'll go check it out. Yeah.
It's Bob Daisley show. I mean, the keyboard. It's got some strange camera. Dio sounds incredible.
Cool.
Unbelievable.
But I know that highly publicized, court battles have been going on with them for years, back and forth with, about the lyrics and stuff. And then when they finally removed them from the 2 albums,
Yes.
and put new people in there, I think all of us who are older and still fans, we wish they hadn't. We understand why they did. It's a good business move, but it's a business move, and it's kind of a slap in the face to these guys.
Yeah,
all the time that they put in to create this, to make
petty.
Ozzy what he was, because it wasn't going to be Ozzy Osbourne. It was going to be Blizzard of Oz.
Right. And Sharon came in and kind of it's business wise, it was kind of smart to keep your control.
Right.
But if you're telling someone one thing, you should kind of do what you say a little bit rather than what's expedient. Your word should matter at some point, but
they kind of turned a lot of the band into hired guns and kind of moved on from there. And the things I've read, they kept tapping Bob Daisley years after that to write stuff for different albums, to write stuff for Bark at the Moon.
I think Shot in the Dark too, a little bit, or a lot.
Yeah, stuff like that. And this I found out the other day. I didn't even know. That kind of really ticked him off at the end when they came out with the album Ozman Cometh. They put him credited as Bob Daisy.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even see that. That's
so hilarious. That really ticked him off. Which who wouldn't it tick him off, right? I mean, that's pretty bogus.
Yeah,
but anyways,
the intern notes.
Sorry, Nashville. What?
They probably had an intern write the liner notes.
Right, right.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah, but anyway, so obviously, we still had great albums after that came from Ozzy. We're still so happy that he's moving forward and he's still going. He does his Oz Fest and different things like that. Like I said, the music that came from Randy and even the guys afterwards, Jake and Zach, was phenomenal. But obviously, I don't think Ozzy would be there without Sharon. She was the brains behind it, the media mogul, turned him into, with the Osbournes and everything else. It was like almost a household name now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody knows who this babbling guy with this British accent is,
I think he's one of the most influential artists of all time. And if and when he ever goes, I wonder if people are going to feel the same as I do, if they're going to put him up there in the same category as the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. But I think he's influenced so many artists and so many bands from the hard rock and heavy metal circuits. So I think he's definitely one of the top 5 most influential artists of all time.
Yeah, well, you can't have heavy metal without Black Sabbath. It's Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and probably Deep Purple. They created that sound.
Highway Star is a metal song. Highway is phenomenal.
Yeah. Like with Machine Head, when that came out, that was like, that's all I played for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
I love that album when I was a kid. I'm a Deep Purple Rainbow head. That's my stuff for real. Like I love Ozzy. I do a show, but the Dio is my guy. But honestly, it is a business. I make 500% more playing Ozzy than Dio, but I love doing Dio. It's funny. It's like, well, it's like I make 5 times as much doing it.
I know, because like Ozzy has become like almost like more mainstream because people know his name more, right?
Every kickoff in the NFL. What's song playing? Right? It's awesome. It's a good it's phenomenal. It's definitely I think of the tributes, if you get to a certain tier, you got like the Beatles, Stones, Who, and after that, I mean, it's kind of Sabbath. Ozzy should be next. When Tom Petty died or Jeff Lynne, right? You look at their album sales, like Tom Petty was like 60 million, or I think when he died, it was like 60 million albums, right? And Ozzy sold like 130 million in his career, like double or triple.
Everything went platinum or multi-platinum.
Right.
Yeah.
So his catalog's ridiculous. It's a nice bag of tricks to use. But the Land of Oz, we focus solely on, we go everything like buffet style, but Just Sabbath we don't get to these deep cut Sabbath songs, and people really like Black Sabbath. It's like it's kind of different. It's strange. It's like I do an Ozzy show and I do a Sabbath show. People come up, they're asking, you gonna play Crazy Train? It's like, no, it's called just Sabbath. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on Step Brothers. I'm like, it's Uptown Girl. We just played the new Billy Joel. But it's it's like, come on, man. But it's fine. People are nice. They want to hear what they want to hear. They're not paying attention to my
They're
mark.
not paying attention. Exactly.
Ozzy, look. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, some Ozzy material with the Land of Oz and no Sabbath at all, huh?
We do Sabbath. We just do like NIB and Iron Man and Children of the Grave and War Pigs. War Pigs is played every show. I do, it seems. I will do it like 3 or 4 a show, you know, of just the place market. But we're focused. We have the best Randy Rhoads kid in the country, so it's like we might as well just play Randy Rhoads heavy, and then we do all the rest. It's a great mix. You know what I mean? It's like plenty of stuff to play. We have a keyboard player, so we could do the Mom, I'm Coming Home, No More Tears, and Perry Mason's. We do changes. I just sit there with my keyboard player. We come out and do that. He's got strings on it. It's beautiful.
Oh, great song. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Rotate that. We'll do either Revelation, Mother Earth, some shows, and then changes, some other shows. We did both last show. Actually, that's strange to do, but we jug it. We had to. I don't know. We were at a really cool beach park called Paradise Grill up in Delaware Beaches, and we just laid out, and it was great. I was throwing beach balls at people and lighted styrofoam stuff, and I was squirting people with water guns. It was great.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
I love playing.
Thing.
Do you guys do anything for like the stage show as far as like, do you have anything like set up? Or we've talked to previous bands where they actually like mapped out the castle Ozzy did and stuff like that, where they have like the crosses. I'm not sure what you do for a stage set, or maybe you can you give us a sneak peek of what you kind of do? Or
Absolutely. We do a lot of let's see, a lot of candles. If you looked at Sellersville Theater, some clips from that has the full show. Some well-placed skulls, some older like little candelabras, some electric candles all over. It's kind of a kind of medieval, almost looks like wrapped around your finger by the police.
right. More harken.
A lot of candles, a lot of skulls, a lot of wrought iron.
More harken to like the Die of a Madman type of feel.
Yeah,
for the
kind
album,
of a little bit of a medieval dark look because it fits most of the motif of the song. So it's not emulating. We're definitely trying to strike a mood with it. Skulls and evil stuff. I'm throwing bats out sometimes if I remember.
It's like Halloween night.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Halloween's a good season for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and you also have your own production company, right?
That's at Clockwork Productions. We do some bookings, just local stuff. We handle around like 16 bands. We manage Definitely Leopard, which is a local Def Leppard tribute. We co-manage the Just Sabbath. There's always some other agents. Sometimes we're splitting commissions. Sometimes we're waiving it. Whatever. I don't care. I don't gotta get paid twice. But it's just it's good for bookings to have a production companies when you call, not just some, hey, this guy's calling. So and we have some pretty nice stuff coming up. Yacht Stock's coming up, which is a Shriners benefit on October 9th. That's every year up in Delaware County. On the river. It helps the kids, so it's pretty cool. They used to bring the kids to like, and the kids are like feeding bags, and you take pictures the next day. It's the saddest thing in the world. So I love making money for them. It's like I would prefer if they had me take pictures with these kids after I perform. It's not like getting all fired up to play and have a picture when a kid is about to die and then go up, be on stage and be happy Ozzy guy. But but hopefully we'll take the pictures after with the kids. But they're sweet kids, and it's a shame. The Shriners does some good work, so we do some charity work with them. Land of Oz headlined that before too, so that's definitely a good, worthwhile festival for anyone who likes the Shriners. You like sick kids, sir? Anyway,
have you guys ever thought about like doing like a Sabbath festival or something like that? Or because actually we talked to some folks a couple weeks ago in Nashville, and they do a Dio birthday celebration there, and they're talking about doing it yearly. And you seem to have the montage or the monopoly on the Ozzy Sabbath stuff. Maybe a Sabbath tribute production show.
My thing I have I'll debut it here. Someone can call me if they see it and they're turned on by this idea. I don't care. We have a 9-piece Skinner band, horns and all this shit, and the guy looks just like Van Zant, a big guy, blonde hair. He looks, I mean, it's like me, but Skinner. So I have a biker package available. It's going to be Leonard Skinner and Black Sabbath. So if any biker festival is called, that is just biker wet dream there, right? Pretty much like, oh my God, that's everything
here in the South.
That sounds great. That sounds like something that Nashville would definitely.
I'm on a podcast,
definitely
bro.
be looking to do. What do you think, Jerry?
Sorry, man. I should shut up my phone. It's my Def Leppard singer calling me. But.
Oh, well, maybe we'll talk to him at some point too, but not right now. We want to talk to him.
We'll hook him up. We'll get him later. It's all right.
But Jerry, maybe, I don't know, maybe they have stuff in Nashville or stuff like that. What do you think? Leonard Skinner / Sabbath?
They would love the Leonard Skinner for sure down here.
Oh, yeah.
There actually is a Black Sabbath tribute band playing next Saturday here in Nashville. So
wow.
We do have them here.
Cool. I heard the guy's named Steve. Friend of mine, Boy in Black. You familiar with the Johnny Cash guy down there, the Boy in Black?
No, I'm not.
He's a good friend of mine. He lives in Nashville. You check him out if you're I think he works with the museum too. I think he works at the Johnny Cash Museum.
Yeah.
So and it's just Sarah Spicer is a local talent that lives down there now. Audra McLaughlin, she was on The Voice. She's a friend of mine. They all live down there. They're actually coming up for that yacht stock I was talking about. They're playing that. The girls are. I don't know, the Boy in Black. We just had him up in Maryland. Clockwork. We did co-promote something with him. He's a great kid. I've known him since he was probably 15. Good kid though. Definitely.
Now you're yacht stock?
Yacht stock. Like it's at a marina. Yacht as in boat.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the yacht rock genre of music, the cheesy music of the late 70s.
The stuff I listen to in my car. Yeah, no. I love that stuff. It's funny. I'm like, I have to listen to a lot of Dio and Ozzy and stuff, and it's fun. My big mouth gets me in trouble sometimes. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I wanted to do like a Mad Season thing because I love Lane Staley, and
good stuff.
album called Mad Season. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Absolutely.
I wanted to do the record, right? And they're like, a drummer friend of mine said, he drums for the ELO tribute. This guy Dave, he goes, I like the Dirt album. I was like, all right, I tell you what, we'll do 4 Mad Season songs, maybe Burden in My Hand by Soundgarden and the Dirt album, and we're doing it October 8th as a show. And I'm listening to this stuff, and I got to do a rehearsal on September 20th, and it's like, my God, I got to do Lane Staley for like 90 minutes, but it's going to be fun. But it's definitely good to branch out and just because it's like, oh, I see Ozzy Dio guy going to sing Lane Staley. How's he going to, there's be a nice curiosity factor. I'm calling it Mad Steven. So
that's awesome.
It's a ball. It's a one-off. We needed an opener for an STP band, and we couldn't find anyone. I said, I'll do a set of Lane Staley stuff, and then now I have to work.
That was one of the most popular grunge bands of the era.
I love Alice in Chains. They're phenomenal. It's such a shame. All that singer, if you listen to the lyrics, all he sung about was like heroin and dying on heroin and dying of heroin and being scraped off his walls. It's like, dude, you got your wish. You did it, man. Yeah, you got there.
Wasn't that what grunge was pretty much all about? Everybody was singing about bleach or dying or pretty much.
You hear the Sabbath influences in the Alice in Chains music too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dirty. If the guy didn't rip his fingers off on that lathe, we would have had a different Sabbath. It would have been more Zeppelin-y, right? Would have been a little higher up.
Oh, when Tony got his fingertips cut, when I first heard that years ago, I could not believe that. What type of dedication does that take? You're starting out guitar player, you have this accent, you're like, you know what? I'm still doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna lighten up the strings.
Right.
And like cool, you got the noise, it's phenomenal.
And
when he quit the band, if you ever watch the Rolling Stones Circus, the video, did you ever notice that Tony Iommi's playing guitar and Jethro Tull in that?
Yeah, I saw some of that footage.
So that Jeffrey song or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. And he quit. I think he quit Sabbath and then went with Jethro Tull for like a month or two or something, and joined back up. It was
something really weird. Yeah.
It's a strange.
Yeah.
strange thing, you know.
Yeah,
What Jethro Tull sounded like, you know.
right. I just find it so strange. It's like so many people since Tony Iommi, they've all tried to sound like him. They've all tried to get that type of feel for so long. I know that's a huge thing for guitar players. They're all looking for their tone, their sound. They want it to be unique to them. But I think when he came out and Jimmy Page came out, they all wanted to sound like them for a long while.
Just heavy.
Yeah, and slow. Some of the stuff is funny because people play it fast, but it's deceptively slow. Like slower is more evil. There's some like bouncy stuff or just doomy.
Right.
And it's kind of, you know, it's not all about speed. Speed's
Well,
not always, you know.
Yeah, when they came out, it was the flower power time, right? So they wanted to do something totally opposite of peace and love, and they wanted to be dark and heavy and gloom and doom and electric funeral and, you know, stuff like that.
Sweet Leaf Break.
Yeah, and and people wanted to change, you know. They hit at the right time with the stuff they came out with. I don't think they even realized, you know, what they were creating at the time when it came out. You know what I mean? That they would give birth to a genre of music that we all hope keeps going for a long while.
It's looking good. I mean, some stuff comes along like a grunge or something. Hair metal came along and it was so antiseptic and cookie cutter that it created grunge. So other stuff creates, I mean, grunge was so sloppy that it kind of it goes back the other way and people wanted to hear musicianship again, you know?
Yeah, I think for us, when grunge came out, it was like the death of metal for a while. Everything changed, and it was just like, what was going on? What's happened all of a sudden? It felt like it was overnight the way music had changed. You know, and I'm so glad that this, even though it's come back as like classic rock or whatever you want to call it now, and we're old, we get it, we understand, but we that music is still relevant, you know.
That's awesome. I love the old I get my serious, I deep tracks. I like the old stuff. I listen to some of the older Genesis and like the Peter Gabriel crazy stuff. Old just I'm amazed as a musician. You know, I'm listening to like some old Genesis, and it's like, how do you remember 13 measures of that, 5 of that, 3 of that, never seen again, back to 2, back to 4 of those, and like the way they construct these songs is like so asymmetrical and they have different movements. It's like, as a band, I don't know how you remember all that shit, you know, like it's incredible to me.
Yeah, when the progressive thing started,
a strange character too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just like the Mummers back up here, you know what I mean? Like Mardi Gras, like those big outfits he'd come out in. They were great. I mean, Genesis, holy crap. And I think it's a sin, honestly, if you see Phil Collins' son's playing drums and he's all stroked out. He sounds horrible. And he looks horrible. I don't know. It's almost like, why are you trotting this guy out like in that condition? And they're selling out. And it's like, dude, it's kind of a shame. It's almost like elder abuse, unless he wants to do it, I guess. But zoinks. You know, some guys can't cut it no more. Like Dave, no offense, David Coverdale. I'm a huge Deep Purple head. I saw Glenn Hughes a couple years ago. He what's he, 75?
He's on tour now with the Dead Daisies.
He's the shit. He could blast. He could play bass. He's great. He looks good. I saw David Coverdale, who looks great. He can't hit anything. He has the crowd singing half the songs. He can't hit nothing. I'm like, dude, like, I give up. Like, I would manage at that point, dude. Like, if I can't do it.
There's a few of the older vocalists that are struggling right now.
I don't know how you could struggle with in-ears and you could hear everything. You don't really got to put out that hard anymore. You don't got to even overcome instruments. He's got to be good for an hour. Come on, man.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit too on past shows. Where it's like, you know, since the older acts, you know, they have to tour. You're getting no money from any record sales or royalties. It's all streaming now, right? And it's all changed how it's marketed and everything. You got to tour. So, you know, if you go see some of these older acts, they're maybe not going to be up to par as you remember them, you know, and some of them I'm not going to go see because I want that older memory of them being in their heyday and kicking ass and sounding great. And I'm, you know, some of those I don't want to see if they can't cut it. But if you do go see the older ones and it's amazing. I saw Styx a couple weeks ago and they kicked major butt. They were just great, amazing. Obviously, they have newer folks in the band helping them with vocals and stuff like that, but it sounded great.
That's cool. I saw a festival with Lita Ford, Warrant, and Dokken and Great White, and no offense to Don Dock, and pretty monotone. Is basically Jack Russell could still sing. The guy looked like he had a stroke or something. No offense, I have pictures with the guy. He's got a cane. He's all jacked up. He might have had stroke. I don't know what's wrong with him,
He
but
had some health problems.
he can sing like a beast, though. It's unbelievable. He could he just shuffles out there and he just blasts. He was singing alone again for Don because Don can't hit them notes. No offense.
Yeah.
George Lynch was a beast. I mean, I guess the guitar, you could kind of, you're not going to get old guy voice on guitar. Maybe you'll get arthritis, but you could still pretty much play. But Judas Priest could still do it. Maiden can still do it. Deep Purple mostly could still do it. You know, Ian Gillan's tough to sing, a good day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don Airey from Ozzy plays with Deep Purple now, which is pretty awesome. Doing John Lord.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I like the old bands, but if you can still do it, it's really impressive. So I got more tricks. I'm older. But at a certain point, I'm going to be like,
yeah, that's why it's cool. Yeah, like I said, it's cool to see the older bands and they can still kick ass. If they can't, I understand why they're trying to do it. They need to make some cash, but it's hard to see them struggle. It's
tough, man. And then Ozzy's down like his. I don't even know how many. Is that 3 steps down now? You can't even recognize the songs. Whoa, he's like, whoa, that's super duper low. Like he cut off all his fingers. Like it's stumping. Yeah. I don't know what, but they protect him on that, and he can't hit those notes. No offense. I mean, Ozzy's deceptively hard to sing.
Yeah, I know a lot of all the pros. They have all the shows on like hard drive. If something happens, they need to switch the drive. They'll do that in the pro shows.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of years on his voice, and he probably still does, he was using all the Eventide harmonizers to get that special sounds out of his voice and to hit those certain notes. And now that you have, was it in tune or whatever? There's lots of tricks.
Auto-tune?
Yeah, auto-tune. Yeah. All these tricks they can use if they had to.
Yeah, it's just at that point, you might go see a DJ, right? I mean,
yeah.
I know some bands I really today, for instance, I got a straight lineup with 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 vocal, drums. Boom. I don't even think I got backup vocals going today. This is all Ozzy, Black Sabbath, just all old school shit. And we'll use a sample for the rain in Black Sabbath and the chime in the beginning. And I use a siren for War Pigs that I don't have a siren player on staff, but for the
why do you have a siren player? Come on.
God damn, it's next to my triangle guy. But
right.
I use a couple samples, but I've seen bands. I saw this band Led Zeppelin 2 or Cashmere. I forget whatever they were. The Zeppelin tribute on South Street in Philly. Nice venue, TLA, if you heard of it. Very good venue.
And all the keyboards, right?
Oh, dude. In Ramble On, I think it was. They have that drum part that's weird, and he tried to use a click with that weird part.
Yeah.
And they were dominating. Their first 4 songs, they were rocking. It was like, holy shit, man, these guys are great. And then they train wrecked on that, and it spooked them, and then they sucked for 4 songs, and then they were okay. Yeah. But it's just like I've seen my Van Halen buddies, Van Halen Nation. They were in Delaware at the Queen Theater, and their sequencer took a shit. They were supposed to do 1984, the album. They ended up doing Atomic Punk because they had to audible out all their shit, which is a more fun show because I'd rather hear
much better album.
But I'm saying it, but if you're advertising, I'm advertising Diary, I'm gonna play the album, you know what I mean? But if you advertise in 1984 and your sequencer goes, you ain't playing that fucking album.
Yeah.
If you use a lot of people use backing tracks for vocals. It's like I just think if they pay money, they're paying to see people play and take chances and maybe blow a note or maybe be awesome. But
yeah,
I don't believe in playing backing tracks. I think it's just why bother?
Yeah, I think from the fan standpoint, you feel like you kind of got a little bit let down. Even if you're seeing a tribute, you're even more energized when they can pull this stuff off. You're like,
right.
It's like, okay, they did it good. And they weren't using any, like you said, backing track right. or any sync or something from a computer or something like that. And you feel like you got your money's worth. And then in turn, you feel the band was even better. Like they kick butt,
Right.
I want to see him again.
Yeah.
Right. I can listen to the record at home. So don't play the fucking record for these people because they're out in a crowd. It's stupid. I do after this pandemic nonsense. I do appreciate the crowds of people and venues. You feel lost. You're doing this as a business for years and years and years, and all of a sudden, not only I can't play. It's not like I don't have shows. I cannot do my business.
Right.
And who am I? I'm not gonna pretend, just a dude playing another dude, but your identity gets lost even more. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah, and now it's been so hard with the COVID thing, and we came out of it, and now shows are back, and
Right.
now we're starting to kind of backtrack with that in certain areas. We've seen,
Yeah, there's certain restrictions at a lot of these venues now.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll all stay tuned and see what happens. But I mean, I hope that we keep going ahead.
I got COVID a while, back when it was cool, and not recently. That's a weed cough. Excuse me.
I think everyone had it in one form or another.
But in any case, I couldn't taste food for like 5 weeks, right? It was crazy. I thought people were full of shit. I'm like, my God, I gained like 8 pounds because I felt like you couldn't get that eating thing down.
Right,
but
right.
I got that. Now at this point, I probably still have the antibodies, but I'm thinking to do business probably in the next week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and take 2 shots because you're not going to be able to do business in Jersey on October 1st. Just fun fact. They just made up this rule. Murphy, he's a jerk off, but whatever. Emperor Murphy said, okay, to go to a show, you're going to either get instantly tested or have proof of your vaccinations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here's me. I'm a performer. Say I'm an anti-vax guy or I'm a little leery. So I do all this booking and I'm booking the show. I'm doing podcasts. I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm doing all this, right? And then I get to the Riviera and I got to get tested. I come up hot. I can't do the show. Now, if I get vaxxed, they're not even going to check. So I guess I got to get vaxxed because I cannot invest all blood, sweat, tears in the promotion and have people buy tickets. And all of a sudden, one of my guys gets tested and comes up hot.
Yeah, it's going to be the standard. We've seen it in every aspect in sports, in any type of area where there's a large gathering of people. It's going to be a point eventually where you're going to have to show your card at some point. You're going to have. I mean, it's just unfortunately, like it or not, this is kind of where the world's at this point.
And I listen. My mom's battling cancer and she's fine. She's like 79 years old, but she's doing well. She got both shots. She's fine. My girl's mom's 81. She had her 3 shots. She didn't die. My dad's probably 80 something. He had 2 shots. He didn't die. I'm 53 and I'm 52 now, but I'll be 53 this month. I think I can survive something my parents and my girl's parents survived. Honestly, most likely I should be okay.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody's died from the vaccine.
Yeah,
not in a I'm sure here and there everyone's died of everything, but most likely not.
They've had some symptoms or gotten a little sick after one of the shots.
I was barely sick when I had 100-degree fever one day. I didn't miss a day of work. I install fences. I'm in yards. I'm not in the office getting people sick. I'm not even near my customers.
Right.
My customers are in their house or out. I dig holes or I run a forklift. I'm not getting anyone sick. I worked with it. I worked through it. I went to bed 7:30 every night for a week and I just went to work and I was, I had 100-degree fever one night and that was it. And it broke and it was fine. It's if as long as you're not already really sickly, it'll bounce off you like a cold or a flu, I believe. I mean, Dr. Steve that I am, right?
Yeah, let's just all hope we can move forward and get through this and
That's all good. Everyone's got to get along. I mean, everyone's got a reason for getting it or not getting it. I don't judge any. I'm not a life coach. I don't run this one great, but it's a dicey situation. But I'm in the column of I would like to be able to do business in this world, so that's where I'm at.
Right.
So
right.
we're all gonna have to kind of. There's people want to do better, and if people maybe have to take a stand, okay, whatever.
Right. Yep.
I'll get their work.
Right. You get their work. Exactly. Well, we're here just to, to promote that and appreciate you guys, doing what you do and let everybody know there's still live music. There's still bands out there. Please go out and support these local artists if you want to continue to see these guys, do what they do. So, Steven, if folks want to hear more about your different acts, Where should they go and check out information online?
Let's go Facebook, because my kids are 28 and 31. They told me only old people go on Facebook. That's my demo though, so it works for us. So the Land of Oz, 2 Z's. You can see the full schedule of that. Just Sabbath, spelled like it is. And Ultimate Live Evil is the Dio product of it all. And there's Clockwork Productions. You can pop in and talk to Christy if you have an act, or if you are an act, or you're a person wanting to see acts. That's a blondie will talk to you. Christy Thompson, famous Christy Desko. She got promoted, or if you want to call it that. Anyway.
So what acts what shows you got coming up? Can you give us some dates of stuff that's happening?
Of course. What we got coming up? September 10th, of course, in Buffalo at the Riviera. Tawawanda? How do you say that town?
Tonawanda.
Tonawanda.
Good Indian name. Tonawanda.
Yeah, we got Schuylkill and Conshohocken down here. We got stuff.
Oh,
also.
so you can say Tonawanda then.
I can kind of say it. If I remember Tonawanda. So we love that place. I have September 17th in Ocean City, Maryland at the Sunset Grill, Biker Week. And that is the Black Sabbath, Just Sabbath product. October 23rd up in Delaware County in Tom and Jerry's Sports Bar is Ultimate Live Evil and Definitely Leopard. I call that Hammers and Hairspray. I am the hammer, and they are the hairspray. And October 9th is Yacht Stock in Delaware County, benefits the Shriners.
All right. We love benefits.
A couple of benefits. That's the same benefit I've been talking about, but yeah, maybe I'll go to heaven if I do benefits, right? Help the children.
Awesome.
So you mix up all 3 of your acts then on tour.
I'm sorry, what?
You don't strictly do just the Land of Oz straight through. You mix up your 3 different acts on tour.
Yes, we I play every show I can, and if the schedule's not filling up to my liking, tribute act is sometimes a difficult booking because not every market will take every act. Sometimes you have duplicate acts, and sometimes you got to break in markets, and some you got a lot of travel considerations. So my shows are classy; they're all really big, good shows. But when I got to backfill my blank spaces, I use the other 2 bands to make sure I have a full schedule. So it's not, I mean, Land Oz would be probably the primary act and Just Sabbath. And then the third one would probably be Ultimate Live Evil, just because of demand only. Like I like all my guys. They're 3 different bands, they're 3 different players. It's not one act playing different shit. These are different guys, like completely different lineups. The bass player, actually, that's not true. The bass player plays in a couple things for me, but that's just.
The bass player plays in all 3 bands.
That's right. He does. No, he doesn't. Doesn't play Just Sabbath.
Oh, that's right.
Don't make me come over there.
No, I was thinking the third band, because he has a
third band.
You're on camera. Don't forget. No. Steven, it's been such a pleasure to speak with you.
Me, don't worry about it.
We really appreciate you taking the time.
I have one more show. Sorry, my boss says.
You have another
Sharon,
one. Okay.
My blonde Sharon here. December 3rd at the N Theater.
No, at Theater N.
Theater N. Sorry. It stands for Nemours, whatever. It's in Delaware, Wilmington. There will be a what was it?
It's Ancient Mariners and Just Sabbath.
Iron Maiden Black Sabbath show. Ancient Mariners and Black Sabbath.
Oh, that's nice. That's
in
nice
Wilmington, Delaware. I love it. Yeah, drive. Hey, dude, come on. It's right down the street. You're in Buffalo. It's only probably 7 hours from me.
Well, I definitely got to get to your show when you come here. Definitely got to check that out. Steven, it's been such a pleasure to speak with you. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You're awesome.
Taking the time to speak with us and chat. I know we took a good chunk of your day, but we'd love to talk Ozzy. We love to talk Sabbath, and we'd love to talk with other people, in the future.
I will send you my people.
Yep. Check these guys out. When they come to town, you won't be disappointed. Amazing singer, amazing act. It's definitely worth your time.
We're going to be better than you thought. Watch, wait till you see us live. That doesn't even do us justice. It's a beautiful thing.
I will definitely be there to come and see you guys. And then if you folks out there want to hear more about talking about rock, please email at gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook and check us out on Instagram. Steven, again, thank you so much for being with us today, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Much battle for one hand. Love you guys.
No rest for the wicked. Land of Oz. Steven, thank you so much, man.
Sharon.
Have a good one.
See you, boss.